Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Depends on where you are in the world and when you are watching this video. I want to welcome you to Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays. My name is Clara Lyons-DeVaughn, and I am the broker owner of Lyonsview Realty. Our team provides residential, commercial for small businesses and nonprofits and property management services. We also have an educational arm, Lyonsview Academy, that does real estate pre-licensing and continuing education courses, credit counseling and distressed homeowner solutions, and lifestyle, health, and wellness education. So I'm really, really excited that you decided to join us this morning or this afternoon, this evening, depending on when you are watching, if you're not watching the live broadcast. So, Lyonsview Realty launched Financial Fridays to help you stay current on those trends that impact your bottom line. Our goal is to provide you with the resources, information, and tips to assist you in making the best financial decisions. Our commitment is to maximize your wealth building power now and in the future. So I'm so glad that you tuned in today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to like and share this video. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely subscribe to the Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays channel. And we're really here to be a resource to you. And if you have any questions, just pop them down in the chat section, um, and we will get started. So I'm excited because today we're going to be talking about understanding what's on your HUD or your ALTA. Understanding what's on your HUD or your ALTA. So some of you might be saying, okay, what is it? What is a HUD? What is an ALTA? And others of you might be saying, why is it important? So when you go through the process of purchasing a property, at the end of the process, you get a HUD ALTA statement, which is a collection of all of the fees and charges um, that you are going to pay for that transaction to purchase that piece of property. So it's kind of like your balance sheet, right? And you want to know or understand what's on it because you want to be about your money. You got to pay attention. You don't want any financial surprises, and you don't want to pay more, and you don't want to receive less than what's expected. In order to do that, you really need to understand the numbers that are on your settlement document. And those numbers, they should not be a surprise when you close on your house, and they should not be a mystery. Like you really need um, to understand what's there. So even before you get started, there are three people who are going to generate an invoice or a bill to you, right? Three people who are going to invoice a bill. One, the first person will be your real estate professional. So your real estate professional should give you a buyer agency agreement. And on that buyer agency agreement, it'll say what the terms are of your relationship, what they're expecting for their commission for servicing you, and how much you're going to pay them. So it shouldn't be, and those figures will be on the final settlement sheet. So that should not be a surprise. The other person who will give you an invoice, so to speak, is your lender. Your lender is going to give you what's called a good faith estimate. And that good faith estimate is based on the amount of money that you are eligible to pay. So let's say if you qualify for $250,000 loan, that lender is going to give you a good faith estimate that will tell you all the fees that are associated with that good faith estimate. So, number one, your realtor, they're going to give you a buyer agency agreement that tells you what their fee is for their services. The lender is going to give you a good faith estimate for the estimated charges for doing that loan for you. And the third person that will give you an upfront bill is the title company. So once you select the title company that's going to guarantee that you have clear title to that property, they are also going to give you an invoice of what their services are going to cost. So all of those are the upfront costs. So you know from your realtor, from your lender, from your title company, what you're expected to pay for their services. The next cost to expect are during the transaction, and those are your out-of-pocket costs. So any vendor that you employ, the home inspector, the appraiser, any repairs that you have done on the property, if you got a home warranty, all of those are covered in previous videos, and you can go on to Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays on YouTube to get an overview of the process for the before and the during and the home inspection process. I'm not going to go into much detail about that today, but we want to get to the grit, the cost to expect once you get to settlement. What do you expect to see on that HUD or on that ALTA, right? What do you expect to see on that HUD or that ALTA? And what's the difference? I keep saying HUD, ALTA. HUD is if you're paying cash for the property. ALTA is if you're doing a loan. So HUD, you're paying cash for the property, you'll get a HUD statement. If you are financing the property, you will get an ALTA statement. And that statement has various different things. So most importantly, it's going to say how much money the property is selling for. That's first and foremost. How much you're selling it for, how much the buyer is paying for the property. That's front and center. If you're a buyer, it's going to tell you the loan amount that you are getting on that property, right? So just the basic financial information. You'll have all of the parties to the transaction. So when you go back later and you want to remember who was my realtor, what title company did I use, what lender did I use, all that information is on your HUD or your ALTA statement. So you want to save it, put it in your file so you have that for later. Also, what's on that HUD or that ALTA is your fee for services. And these are fees that are related to the sale. So you have your title fees. Title insurance is probably one of the larger costs. It doesn't matter what title company you use for title, the title insurance is mandated by the state. That cost will not vary from title company to title company. What will vary is what I call the miscellaneous fees, the wires, the notary, what they charge you to print documents. All of those things, miscellaneous fees, are different and vary from title company to title company. But the title insurance is mandated by the state. It should be the same no matter what title company you use. So that's one fee you will definitely see on your HUD or ALTA statement. Those lender fees, what was on that good faith estimate when you started the process, should be on, within plus or minus 10% on your final HUD or ALTA statement. So whatever mortgage service fees, what your lender is charging you, whatever points they're charging you, whatever their miscellaneous fees they're charging you, all of those fees should be on your ALTA or your HUD statement. Your commission fees. So remember up front, your realtor gave you an agency agreement, whether you were the buyer or the seller, that told you what they were charging you to do this transaction, handle this transaction for you. Those fees, those commission fees, will be on your HUD or your ALTA statement. The other fee that will be on your HUD or your ALTA are called transfer fees. So what it costs to transfer that property from one person to the next person is going to be on there. These can be estate tax fees, they can be out-of-state tax fees, and there's something called a transfer fee. So all of those fees will be on your ALTA HUD statement. The next type of charge that will be on your ALTA or your HUD statement are called prorations. And prorations are those things that are already paid for by one party that are going to be reimbursed based on the close date. So what does that mean? If we close today, and I have a settlement today that I'll be doing right after I leave here, If we close today, that is the marker. But let's say I paid my taxes for the entire quarter, through the end of the month. So I've paid for, um, I don't know, 15 days that I need to get reimbursed for. So one side is going to reimburse, and the other side is going to be reimbursed for what they've already paid. And it's effective as of the date of settlement. So that includes property taxes that were paid in advance, any water or sewer fees that were paid in advance. Anything that was paid in advance will get reimbursed to the other party. So you'll see that proration of fees on your settlement or your ALTA document. And then the last thing that you'll see on your HUD or your ALTA document is payments to outside parties. So these are people who maybe they weren't intimately involved with the day-to-day of the transaction. And that kind of falls into two categories: mandatory payments or voluntary payments. So a mandatory payment are the ones that I talked about: the transfer fees, the estate tax. If you're out of state, you have to pay, like in the state of New Jersey, 2% of the purchase price to the state of New Jersey, and the title company will collect those funds. If you are doing an estate sale, there are estate taxes that the title company will collect on behalf of the government. It is not optional. So any liens or judgments to the property, like your income tax, if you owe money and they lien that property, that is a mandatory disbursement. So that has to be paid at settlement. If you are part of a homeowners association, so your property has a homeowners association where you pay homeownership dues, the transferring of that homeowners association document from one party to the other it's a mandatory fee. If you have late fees, that's a mandatory fee that will be deducted at settlement. Utilities, any unpaid bills that you have for water or for sewer is mandatory. That will be deducted. It will be paid as a payment to an outside entity, to the utility company at settlement. So you'll see that on there. Your insurance, the lender will take 1 year's payment for insurance up front. That will be on your settlement statement. If you have a mortgage insurance, and mortgage insurance now is running a minimum of about $5,000. So if you're putting less than 3 to 5% down, if you're not doing a conventional product, you have to pay mortgage insurance. That's a mandatory fee that gets paid to the lender at settlement. Any condition on your loan by the lender. So let's say the lender says your debt to income ratio is too high. So you need to pay off or pay down some of your credit to get it to a certain level to be in the right ratio for the lender to give you this loan. That's a mandatory payoff, and that will be on your settlement statement. If you didn't pay it prior to settlement. So that could be on there. Judgments, liens, if you did a construction and that contractor liens your property, that will be on your statement fee. So there are all these mandatory fees that are payments to outside parties, the transfer taxes to the government, your insurance, your utilities for any unpaid water or sewer bill, your HOA fees, any unpaid balances will have to be paid. Any judgments or liens against the property for income taxes will have to be paid. And also any judgments or liens from any other outside property or conditions by the lender. Those are the mandatory side. Then you have the voluntary side of payment fees to outside parties. So let's say you hired a contractor, and that contractor graciously did some work on your property, and they said, okay, once the property closes at settlement, you can pay me out of the proceeds of your sale, Mr. Seller. So their fees that for that vendor would be on your settlement statement. If you purchased a home warranty and you didn't pay it in advance, you want the home warranty, or the seller is paying for a home warranty for you as the buyer, that fee or that charge will be on your settlement document. Any payments to outside contractors and any payments to creditors, people that you might owe. So let's say you personally just want to pay down some debt, that will be there. Also, I forgot to mention on the mandatory side, for certain utilities, they may hold back a portion of money. So let's say by settlement, they're unable to get that final payoff bill for sewer or for water. The title company will hold a certain amount of money in escrow. That's They'll hold that money in escrow, and that money will be held to pay off that debt in the future. So you have your mandatory fees, your designated fee, all those are payments to outside properties. So what do you expect after settlement, or actually during settlement? You want to go through that document. You want to make sure that your prorations, those splits between the parties, for reimbursements is correct. You want to make sure all of the fees are correct, all of the commissions that you're paying to the lender, to the title company, to the the real estate professional, all of those are correct. You want to make sure any of those payments to outside parties, your transfer tax, your insurance, your vendors, your HOA fees, mandatory or the voluntary fees that you're paying to an outside party, you want to make sure all those numbers are correct. And that debit and credit, that balance sheet at the end will tell you how much money as a buyer you're bringing to the table at settlement and how much money as the seller you are receiving. We hope you're receiving money. There are cases where the seller has to bring money to the table as well. But that HUD ALTA is your balance sheet, and you need to understand all those three categories of cost associated with that document. And then there's one bonus. You have cost to expect after settlement. So let's say the title company collected that escrow, and you might get a refund because there's been an overpayment. So any escrow that's held by the title company, by law, they have to reimburse you for any overpayments, whether that's on the buyer side or the seller side, money that they collected for utilities and the bill came in lower. You get that money back. Money that they collected for a vendor and the bill was lower, you get that money back. If the lender made an error, something came in for less money, you'll get a check in the mail. So you will get money back for any overpayment that's done at settlement. Also, the other thing that you can expect after settlement are escrow payments. So that lender collected 2 months, 3 months, 6 months of taxes to pay for you on your behalf as part of your escrow payments. So you can expect that your taxes are going to be paid by the lender if they collected it during settlement, and it'll be on your settlement sheet. You can expect that lender or that title company to make that payment for that first tax payment on your behalf. So you want to check to make sure all of these things are done. So the HUD, understanding what's on your HUD or your ALTA should not be a mystery. It should not be difficult. It's a plus and minus system. If you have any questions, the title company is there to assist you. They are very helpful. Your real estate professional is there to assist you. They are very helpful. The lender is there to help you. They are very helpful, and they have charged you for their services. So ask any questions that you might have about your HUD. Remember, HUD, you're paying cash. ALTA, you are getting a loan for the property. Whatever is on that settlement sheet, that information. So if you have any questions, you can post those in the chat section. It's a very, very simple process. It shouldn't be a mystery. It shouldn't be a surprise. You should kind of know what your numbers are going in. You should have that check, which should be certified funds. Certified funds. You cannot bring a personal check. And you can always make that check for more than the amount. If you're not quite sure, the title company will reimburse you the day of settlement with a check back to you if you brought in, if your closing check is too much money. And they also will disperse checks that day. And that's the happy day. It's payday for the seller. It's payday for your real estate professional, for all of the exceptional work that they've done for you over the course of the transaction. So I want to just thank you. If you have any questions, you can put those in the chat. And so, yeah, that's basically that's basically it. Easy peasy, right? So be sure to check out your numbers. It's there to make sure that you are not overpaid, that you don't overpay, and that your numbers are correct. So Financial Fridays is here to really assist you in making the best financial decisions. And we're here as a resource to you. So remember to like and share this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Lyonsview Realty Financial Fridays. You can post any questions that you have. And if you have suggestions for other topics that you want information on, um, be, uh, be sure to post that information as well. We're here to assist you, to provide you with resources, information, and tips and trends that impact your bottom line. So I hope you received something of value today. My name is Clara Lyons-DeVaughn. I am with Lyonsview Realty. I'm the broker owner. And if you're interested in a career in real estate, or you need assistance with your next real estate transaction, or you have a real estate situation, and you just need some advice, feel free to contact me. The information is scrolling across the bottom, contact information, or info@lionsviewrealty.com. More than happy to assist you. You can message me on social media as well. So, as always, sending love and light and prayers out to anyone who has lost a loved one in this season. If you have anyone in the hospital for any reason, and or you're experiencing the distancing, the impact of physical distancing, and to all of our essential employees, our healthcare providers, transportation, food, police, fire, and especially our leadership. Just want to send love and light out to you. I want to encourage everyone to take care of yourself, take care of your family, and stay safe, right? Practice social distancing, wear your mask. Yes. My name is Clara Lyons-DeVaughn. Financial Friday streams on Facebook and YouTube every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us again next Friday at 9:30 a.m. Until then, keep living your best life. Thank you for joining.